What's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm super excited because I am headed to Modern Beige Salon to go do some hair with Frances. And if you don't know who she is, you're gonna get to know her because she does amazing work. I think we're gonna be doing some virgin hair highlights, so some blonding on dark hair. I'm not quite sure yet. I actually don't know what model she's going to be doing. I think I'm going to be doing hair with her, and we'll just kind of see how the day goes because it's kind of like the first of many videos that I'm hoping to make. So today is the first time I'm actually venturing outside of my salon to do hair and collaborate with somebody else that I normally don't work with. And to be honest, I'm kind of nervous because Frances does amazing hair. She is so great at what she does. That's really why I'm nervous. It's just being around somebody who does amazing hair. She does have an Instagram account and TikTok, but we'll get into all of that today. So you're gonna get to know her. We're gonna visit her salon and then do some hair together. So I'm just super excited and pumped for today because it's kind of outside my norm of what I do on this channel. And hopefully you like videos like these. And if you do, definitely let me know down below because I'm hoping to do more of this. So that way it's not just me doing hair. You're gonna get to see other people do hair as well. So now that I got my Starbucks and I'm ready to head on out to Brea, get on the road. I'm so excited. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. Now let's go ahead and get started. All right, so before I actually take off, I'm gonna grab a little bit to eat. So my salon is in South County and I'm headed to North County. So she's like in North Brea. And so we're kind of far from each other. It's about a 30-minute drive. Yeah, it's actually a really beautiful drive. I'm definitely a SoCal girl at heart, born and raised. I'm excited. Let's like head on out to the road. So I'm here. I just parked. I'm super excited. I'm gonna unpack and then I'm gonna show you around Modern Beige Salon and then introduce you to Frances. And I just know you're gonna love her as much as I do.
Come out.
Hello, Frances.
Hi. Come on in. Welcome to my salon. This is Modern Beige Salon, and we call it Mod B for short.
Yeah, so show us like this little check-in process. This is kind of cool.
This is Vigaro, which is actually great for salon owners if you ever want something that specifically caters to beauty salons. Vigaro is one of my favorites to use.
Is that like a little plug? Do you have a partnership with them?
I do not. Actually, I swear.
Can I peek over here?
Of course.
OMG, so that's where all their appointments are at. That's
Yeah.
cool. I actually have to ask you.
Okay.
I always see on Instagram you serve your clients like the coolest little coffees. So
Oh, should I make one?
Yes.
Okay. I do. I am very extra. Just saying. So
Oh, so fancy. So fancy.
So this mug I got custom made to it's once heat gets in it,
Okay.
it changes colors and the logo pops up. But yeah, I have everything.
No
honestly.
way. Okay,
It's
now we're
really
gonna
cool.
watch this.
Yeah. It takes a bit though, but I have to put some kind of milk or cream in it for it to go to the top. If not, I can't do the logo. But yeah, I have, honestly, we have everything. We have wine, champagne, sparkling water, and then I have to be super bougie and get the Fiji water bottles for everybody. Gotta
Love
get the
it.
best. And it took me a hot minute to master how to do the logo. It's not that easy.
I'm like seriously so excited for this.
Everyone gets really excited.
It's cute. It's like the little things that give the experience.
It does. I want to feel like we're in like a
Fancy.
a Starbucks or something.
All right, so you got the foam.
Foam at the very top. I got the Mod B stencil. And then this is honestly cinnamon, but you just have to do it ever so gently. I really hope this comes out good.
You got one shot, Frances.
I know. Oh, it did. It came out good.
So cute.
Once it settles in too, it looks even better.
Look at, and then I don't know if you can see.
It's gonna be more prominent in a second.
Yeah, the cup is showing up. We'll show you in a second.
This I'm actually excited about because my coworkers and I did our own little photo shoot together, and we had a professional videographer, photographer come, and we created these looks ourselves.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I just noticed it says Mod B. That's so cool.
So these are our looks, and I wanted just like a shelf talker. So what we did was we put with the Kenra products how to use them. So we have a prep, layer, and finish. We have that for a combo on the Luxe, and then we have one for this one. I like this one is basically your everyday client. So you got a detangler, This is the silkening, wait, did I say that right?
Yeah, silkening gloss.
Silken gloss, and then the working spray from Kenra is one of my favorite hairsprays. And then we have one for volume, and I do have one for curly hair coming now that the all curl has been released.
So cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool. We made it custom to ourselves.
I
had worked for an Activator salon for a long time, and so it's really great for those clients that are really into holistic vegan ingredients that we have that for. And then last but not least, we have Leaf and Flower, which is a CBD infused shampoo conditioner line, couple styling products. It will not get you high, but it does work great, I promise you. This is actually our top seller.
I actually have not used that line, so
It smells really good.
yeah, I'll have to try it.
Okay, now you can see it better.
Look how cute! Oh my gosh, that's so dope.
I always call this my Oasis corner. I basically use 2 stations, but I do have an assistant. This will be her future station. But
Cute.
This is my little corner right here.
Love it.
This is where I work.
So nice.
This is where the magic happens. This is the processing area that we have set up. We also got these cute little coasters that have the Wi-Fi QR code. So if clients need the Wi-Fi, they can just scan it while they're sitting here.
Love that.
The heat lamps, our shampoo area. So if you notice, the color of the chairs do not match, but this was previously a salon location. And I was like, I'm not gonna get new shampoo bowls if I don't have to. So we just worked with it and incorporated some black
Love it.
into what was already here.
I actually have these same bowls.
They're great.
And clients love them, right?
They do. They say
Yeah.
they're the most comfortable chairs.
Yeah, because it has this like little pillow inside of it. And
it's wide and spacious. People fall asleep on here all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we added the little black lamps, just to put some black in here so it could
bring it
glow
together.
a little
Yeah.
better. And this is all my color right here. You can see all of the top. I have so much color. It's not even funny.
Francis has been using Kenra for a long time, just like myself. I don't know, did I find you on Instagram? I feel like I did.
No, you through Kenra. You used to teach classes. You actually introduced me on how to use Kenra color. Originally.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like I saw like an Instagram post that she did of Kenra, and I was like, oh, I found a salon in Orange County that uses Kenra, and I think that's how we connected with you somehow.
Probably.
I think I
don't
was
remember.
stalking
I just know you taught me how to use Kenra color.
because you used to buy stuff at the Orange location.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So she has some other stations over here.
I have a total
How many-
of 6 stations.
So how many stylists do you have working here?
7 hairstylists, but a few of them are part-time, so we just basically whatever chair is available that day. So it's fun when everyone's here. 4 of us are Bellamy Extension certified. And so we're I think a VIP account, I believe. So that's why we got this beautiful
That's nice.
stack of colors when clients just pop
Yeah.
in.
These are so cool for like color matching and stuff.
It's
'cause
great
like
for color matching.
yeah, it's like a big chunk of hair, which is nice instead of like the little tiny swatches.
Yeah, I have the little swatches too, but the fact that we got this, it makes a huge difference. You can really see the canvas of what the hair looks like.
What are we gonna be doing today?
Okay.
I told everybody we're gonna be working on some virgin hair to like highlight it.
Yes, so I do have a beautiful client of mine coming in. She does have some old highlights, but they're super grown out, so we're gonna she said lighter. She wants to go lighter, so I have an idea in mind, but I have to consult with her a little bit first.
All right, that's perfect. So our model just arrived. So this is Jody.
Hello.
And we're gonna walk through exactly what her hair color history is and then kind of get an idea of exactly what she wants to get done. I'm gonna let Francis kind of take this away.
Last time we did her hair, it's been, I don't even know. When did we do your hair last?
I think it's been less than a year, but almost a year.
It's been almost a year, and what she normally does is have me balayage her about once or twice a year. And then when it starts looking to a color she doesn't like, she'll throw purple on it.
Yes, I use watercolors,
Watercolors, okay.
color depositing shampoo.
So, but the rest of her hair is virgin,
Yeah.
as you can see. Yep. And then lift up your head a little bit to this. Look at the ceiling.
Oh,
That's okay. And then she does have some new gray hairs. Those are new.
Turned 40.
So maybe maybe we could start doing a little gray blending too. That'd be good. Yeah. So what do you want to do with your hair?
I always just leave it up to you.
Yeah.
I'm good with whatever. I would like to just lighten it. And other than that, you do you.
I'm loving like this little pop of color here. So I almost feel like we should bring everything back up. And then when we do her root shadow blend, we'll use that to our advantage for gray blending as well. But let's just brighten it up and then go with something maybe on the cooler side. I like her with cool tones. Sound good?
I agree.
Yes.
She does have some highlights for me to work with, which is great, but I do want her to have a balayage effect, so I'm going to separate this into 3 different zones. So her zone 1, we're going to be the bottom, where I'm going to start doing a V-shape application. That's going to be her balayage ribbons. Zone 2 is going to be the mid shaft. I'm going to switch to a weave, so that's going to give her a lot of dimension in through here.
Like horizontals.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And then the last zone at the top is going to be more of a baby light. So I like doing, basically having her highlights sit heavier in the application and through the bottom. And as we work our way up, it's going to be soft, get softer, and that way she has a really nice grow out. And it's going to be great when we're blending out some of these little gray hairs. Sorry, I keep calling out your gray hair. But she's going to have a really nice grow out. We're going to switch from the ribbons to the weave and then to a baby light in through the top.
Do it. Let's mix it up.
All right.
Show me this contraption. What is this?
Okay, so this is Ricky Martin. I name all my tools.
I have to ask you, all your tools have male names.
They do. They're Latino male names. So you'll meet the whole gang today. I don't know why I do that, but
That's hilarious.
So this is Ricky Martin. He is my foil printer from ProCare. This is how I eat lunch, okay? I basically put how many foils I want, the quantity, the length, and then you can even choose if you want a side folded, which is kind of cool. So you press start, it will print for you, and then I go and sit inside the machine. And I say, hey, I'm gonna go mix up your color real quick, but really I'm eating lunch in the break room.
Oh, wow. So you get to pick what size you want.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. I'm impressed. I feel like I need this.
You do. Now I want to introduce you to Gustavo. He is my hair color mixer. And so I mixed up the Kenra blue powder lightener with 30 volume at a 1:3 ratio. I like it a little bit really easy to run through. So let me show you how Gustavo works, okay? You have to align it to the designated bowl it came with. And then you could press if you want 45 seconds or 75 seconds. For lightener, I like 75 seconds. So it pressed once and it goes to 75 seconds.
So many fancy tools.
Yeah, look at him go. I prefer 1:3 on a regular basis, or somewhere between a 1:2 and a 1:3. But I do find with the blue powders, I like it to just really spread on.
All right, I'm gonna have to.
This is just preference.
I'm gonna have to try it.
This is just preference. But usually, since I mix more developer, that's why I usually go in with a higher developer. Yeah. So it still kind of keeps it somewhat of a strong formula. So that's why I go in with 30 volume, especially we're working with a level 2 today. So I do want to get that lift. We got the zone 1 is part of the way. And then zone 2, this whole bottom area is going to be her ribbons that we add. So this is the V-shape application. I do work with a lot of clients with dark levels of hair. So I'm going to show you what I have found to be the best way to lift. So this is Javier. He is my go-to weaving comb, and it actually has, you can see the little teasing teeth to it. So really great for back combing. So I'm going to start with doing her first section. I always make sure her bottom row is being highlighted. Okay, so first section honestly depends on the canvas that we're working on. Sometimes I'll do a weave, but what I'm noticing is she has a lot of flyaways. So if I comb all that out, it's going to look like a weave section anyway. So I'm going to keep this one flat, do a lot of back combing. So the back combing is there for diffusion at the root. But you can see how paper thin my section is.
Yeah, that's pretty
this is really important for me because I want her to lift evenly and quickly, and it's hard because we're aiming for at least a level 8, which that's going up about 6 levels right there. If you are heavy-handed, I usually recommend for people to start here and apply your color. That way you can just kind of get the foil to stick. And then very lightly with your brush, and I'm a lefty, so I'm going to start creating a line here, and I'm painting down so I don't move any of the teasing out of the way. But you can see I'm doing some even strides here for an even application. I always keep my brush flat on both sides. So it's flat this way, now it's flat this way, versus going in like this. this is going to give you a nice even application too. So even though I have the teasing there for diffusion, I'm also still going to feather the lightener up in through here. Again, it's just going to give you that really soft application right at her root, which is what you want. So in through the bottom, everything's fully saturated. Make sure you got that full saturation. Lightly feathered as you get closer to the root. And then what you're looking for is a really prominent V-shape application. That's what's going to create her ribbon of balayage.
Well, one of the things that I liked that you did is you are teasing that entire section. So this is something that a lot of people don't really talk about when doing brunette hair, is you don't have to highlight the hairline exactly, because keeping the depth around the hairline kind of looks really nice, especially for natural brunettes. You don't want those like blonde pieces like right, unless they're trying to be blonde, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to keep like what their primary color is around the hairline, if that makes sense.
So we got 2 V-shapes at the hairline. And then once I start moving on to her next section, I'm not going to go through and highlight every single section. That would take all day long. And honestly, a little goes a long way. So I'm going to show you in the next section. We're going to do maybe about 2 more rows of the V-shapes, but each row is just going to have 3 foils.
And you need the depth there anyways, so that way like it can pop, right?
Exactly, and you're already going to get the pop because I'm already taking such a wide section and painting the whole thing. Another little thing I like to do is I will keep my foils flat. You rarely ever see me bending them. I feel like I've gotten a better lift when I keep it flat. And I don't push the foils together. I'm just kind of lightly placing it, but I'll secure the top and do just like a little squeeze.
Pinch, yep.
Just a little pinch just so they stay secure. I like to do more of a U shape here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm noticing your sections aren't necessarily like extra clean. It's
Oh.
like you gotta have like this like organic feel to how you're.
And it's so funny because when you see me do hair, it doesn't look like there's any structure to it, but there actually is.
No,
There's
there
a
is
very
not.
strategic way on how I'm doing it, but I have to admit, I don't have time to sit there and do all these perfect little sectioning.
Yeah.
I am just trying to get in there, but
That's the overthinking that a lot of hairstylists do.
exactly, yeah. And one thing I will say that I've been told numerous times is I'm a really fast hairdresser. A lot of it is just having a good go-to behind the chair. So this is one of my good go-tos, and I don't sit there and let it be so perfect because essentially we're just trying to create ribbons, you know?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be so structured. So now I'm going to do one V shape here, one here, and one here, and then in between each one is going to have a little bit of a dimension. But look how big this section is. So we're actually taking a lot of hair. So maybe just like a little thing with backcombing, I'll hold what I want to be securely painted down here, and I'll start teasing from the middle. I've seen so many stylists do this, but what happens is this gets thinner, and this is where you want to see your highlights. So I start from the middle,
Yeah.
and then I just make sure that what's getting teased is kind of mainly at the root. And I'm not too worried about it being perfect because I am going to go back and do a root shadow melt that's going to really fine-tune that blend.
All right, so we got the 2 on the bottom and 3 on this row, still with the V sections.
Yes, so I'm going to just do one more row after this. So essentially, we're doing 3 rows of TZ lights,
So just 8 foils.
basically. Yep.
Yeah, and we're already like halfway done after that.
And then, exactly. And so each row you can see has a in-between dimension. So here is my last row, but we are also all going to do, I left this down because we're going to put a TZ light in her front
Love it.
as well.
I'm excited. I'm getting a little edumacation right now, so it's good.
Typically, if a client comes in completely virgin, then I would probably add more. But since she has some highlighting for me to work with, as you can see in through the bottom, we're going to be able to use that to our advantage.
Wait, I have to ask. So what are your sectioning like underneath? Like you're just grabbing?
Yes, I am grabbing, but there is a little, but see how she has,
no, I guess that's what I'm asking. Like, how thick is this?
I go fine because I do want that lift. And anytime from experience, from grabbing too much hair and bunching that all in a foil, the lifting just doesn't get where I want it to get. So, especially again on dark levels, and especially I do have a lot of clients with permanent hair color, so I'm almost on autopilot with grabbing these fine sections. But if she didn't have any highlighting in through here, I probably would grab more. Since she has a little bit, I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm kind of looking to see what's down here she has highlights down here, so I could work with that.
Yeah.
This is gonna sit over that. So it's gonna look like she has a full highlighted look.
Totally.
We're at her hairline.
Yep. And
So I'm gonna
just take a little peeky peek. So that's how much hair is left underneath there.
I'm gonna do 2 at the bottom at her hairline, kind of right by her ear. Just again to get that ribbon of balayage around her hairline. 2 on each side in the front, and then we're moving on to the zone 2, which is gonna be just more weaving. The V shape, the V shape is done. Okay. I took about 30 minutes, I would say, to do the V shape. Probably less if we weren't talking so much, right? So I'm done with that. I'm going to switch her to a weave in this midsection. I'm doing that for dimension and depth, okay?
And so we're a little bit more horizontal now.
Now we're going horizontal.
And what kind of gives like this blanket effect.
Oh, yeah, I like that. So what I'm essentially trying to do is big ribbons, and as I work my way up, they're going to get smaller. I'm going to be taking kind of, I don't know if you consider this more of a chunk.
Yeah.
But I did weave it.
A little bit more of a heavier weave. For
Heavier weave for sure. Back combing, and then sometimes if I still feel like I grab too much hair.
Yeah.
Because I do want to see it a little see-through. I'm going to just drop. But this is exactly what I'm going to be painting. It looks like a baby light, but it's, I think I did about 3 weaves. Still back combing for that blend diffusion.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the internet's going to say it's a baby light, because I get rammed for that all the time.
Well, I'm going to call it whatever I want to call it.
That's right. We're gonna call it whatever we want to call it. No, seriously, like how many times like I've called something, I'm like, oh, a baby light or whatever, and they're like, that's not a baby light.
Well, essentially what I'm trying to do is create a ribbon. I teased it, and it is what it is. This is what it is. So now what I'm going to do is apply about, I would say about 2 inches down here. Okay. Then whatever is left on my brush, I'm going to feather. So still trying to create a diffusion. So we got the teasing that's going to help you with the blend, and then the feathering. Everything else is going to be fully saturated, so we get that lift again. My biggest goal with clients is when they come back to touch up their highlights that they don't look like they need their hair done.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is when I'm creating the softness at the root.
So I have to ask, Francis, so how much would you charge for something like this?
I would say the average ticket is between 400 and 500. That's my average.
400 and 500.
For kind of just like a, I would say about 4 hour, which is my average for a balayage appointment. Maybe 3 now that I have an assistant.
Does that include a haircut?
That does not include a haircut, just for the balayage.
Okay, and then what about, does that include the toner? Yes.
That does include the toner.
What about if you're doing like a base break in tone?
You know what? That is where it starts to define if it's 400 or 450 or 500.
Got
So
it.
if I take 4 hours on one balayage, but she just did her highlights in tone, then maybe I'm doing 400. But if someone did a base breaker, but I still did it within those 4 hours, which is, my normal, then I might be going 450 to 475 because I added the extra color to it.
And then do you charge at all for like density or like, I guess what I'm asking is like, do your tickets go over 500?
Yes. It depends on how much time it took. So usually with more density, you're doing more highlighting, more toning. It's going to take more time. So then I'll go over, yeah.
And what about for length?
Same, it's time. It's all a timing thing for me. If things take me longer, if I'm going over the 4 hours, then you're going to be probably looking at, 500. People add a haircut, that's more time.
How long did it take you to charge those prices?
So I've been doing hair for about 22 years. I started when I was a baby. So over time, especially with the growth of Instagram, before Instagram, I was already getting booked about a month out, which is great. Instagram blew that up to 4 months. So with that, of course, you're in demand. You start raising your prices. If I'm still in demand, start raising your prices. I do it every year. And you get to the point where, you're become such a specialist at something and you're able to do that. It's been a long time for me. So I think I started my balayages at like 200, maybe 5 years ago. And the more in demand I get, which every year seems to get busier, the more I slowly start raising my prices. I don't go from 0 to 100 though. That's my personal belief is maybe I'll raise it about $50 for a balayage. That's just my preference.
So how many clients do you take a day?
Well, before an assistant, about 2 balayages a day. Now that I have an assistant, I'm taking up to 4.
Dang. So would you say that your day rate then is probably...
Oh man, we're really...
No, I think this is like good information because, and I'm only asking this as much as you're willing to share, of course. I only ask this because, you know, a lot of hairstyles, we were kind of talking about this, how when I put up a price transparency post, it makes people very angry and upset. Like when I tell people $110 for a haircut. How much are your haircuts?
80.
So $80, and I think that that's relatively great price, especially with like a color service too.
Yeah, and I don't market myself as like a big haircut specialist. I've been cutting hair for a long time, and but I don't market myself as that. So I don't think I really push those prices as much, especially because people don't come to me for a haircut. They come to me and maybe add a haircut onto a balayage service. You know, even though, if we're just being transparent now, if I, for example, make $1,000 to over $1,000 in services a day, that's not what I take home by any means whatsoever.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. I have an assistant I have to pay. Nowadays, on average hair color, this is probably just alone going to be $50 just of hair color in her head that I'm using with the mixing, the foils, the everything. And then, you know, we have tons of bills, especially in the salon ownership. So it sounds great, but that is not by any means what I take home, because I have an assistant I have to pay, all the product usage, the foils, the lightener, the toner,
The credit card fees.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's so much that goes into it, you know.
Just supply cost alone, like you said, this is going to cost, you're on your 3rd bowl of lightener. Yeah, a look like this definitely easily would cost somewhere to $50 to $60. And then it's all variable. And I think that a lot of hairstylists, I think that they need to really understand how much cost goes into what exactly we do and not undercharging so that we were making a profit, because realistically, at least for us in Southern California, our minimum wage here is $15.15 or 50 cents. So $15.50. So that is like the bare minimum that you should at least be paying yourself, if anything. And the fact that you have this expertise, you know, it should be going up from there. And then on top of that, you know, the taxes and like all of that. I mean, there's so much that goes into it in this glorious state of California.
Yes, California is really, I know people give us a lot of crap, to say the least, for our prices here in California, but our cost of living is insane out here, you guys.
Agreed.
Oh my gosh.
Especially like we're in Orange County, and Los Angeles County hands down is expensive, but I feel like Orange County, like no one really talks about it. It's up
in
there.
A very expensive county, we'll say that. Especially where she lives. I'm in North Orange County. She's South Orange County, which is closer to the beach areas, and that's even more expensive.
It is. I know, yeah, Californians, we say North OC or South OC. Yeah, it's like divided. It's all expensive.
I mean, normally we don't welcome people from the South. I'm just kidding.
No, you know what I will say? North County has the bomb food, because South County.
No way.
Oh,
really?
dude.
South County has. I feel like South County has
you
the best
cannot
food.
find
You get used
good
to it.
Asian food, sushi, Thai food, Mexican food.
Yeah, we do have really good.
We don't have good Mexican food either.
Yeah.
Except for Carlos. There's a restaurant called Carlos. That's really good.
Or Mexican food in Santa Ana.
Yeah, man. Like all the good food's up here. Yeah.
But you guys have better, like poke and seafood and all that good stuff.
You know what? Okay, I take that back. There is good sushi over there. That's about it.
This is good hair conversations. Irvine does.
Yeah.
But Irvine's not South County, really.
It technically is,
Yeah.
isn't it? Oh,
I feel
that's
like-
debatable.
I want to say the cutoff is like Tustin.
I don't know. Us South Oceans. Irvine is its own thing. It's like the middle.
It kinda
Even
is.
though Santa Ana's technically the middle.
Let's just call it the middle OC.
So she is getting a really clean lift.
Nice.
Especially because I took those fine sections. So sometimes I'll look and see if there's any spots that, like right in through here, I see a little bit of a level 7. I'll just want to make sure everything's caught up. So this is a fresh bowl of lightener, which to add, I do mix up a fresh bowl of lightener at least every 15 to 20 minutes max. I need it fresh, especially with levels like this. If that bowl's been sitting for 30 minutes, just forget about it.
Yeah,
Just forget about it. Don't even use it. With the fresh bowl of lightener, I'm just going to hit this spot a little bit just so it could catch up.
Nice.
So that would probably need maybe 10 more minutes, I'm assuming. A level 8 I'm good with, which she's about a 7 right now. One little thing I do is once I've checked the foil, I will unfold the sides. And that is how I tell myself that foil's already been resaturated and checked. Asian hair can be one of the most challenging and easiest hair to work on. This is why. First of all, it's dark, thick, okay? So lifting can be a little bit of a challenge. That's why I always go in with the fine sections. However, I will say Asian hair is so strong. I mean, I hate to say it can take a beating. I could lighten it, leave it alone, walk away, let it sit, and it's strong. The hair feels probably the strongest, so they can almost pull off lifting them 8 levels without any breakage. Yeah. And their hair feels silky soft still. So that's where I love working on this type of hair, but then also you have to have the patience to do it.
Patience and then just like the knowledge. Right here we're on this parietal ridge here, and so she's kind of going in more horizontal, and she's got like a total of 5 foils here on the side that goes up to the parietal ridge. But I'm really excited to see what you do with this money piece and the top.
She does part her hair here, so you're going to see a little bit more foiling on this side. We're going to do gray blending with just a Demi. So when I do her root shadow, I'm just going to let it sit on a little bit longer than I normally would, so it can give the gray coverage on top of that. So normally especially with Kenra colors being so creamy and opaque, a root shadow can sit for like 5 minutes and it does exactly what I need to do. So maybe with someone with gray, I'll let it sit on for 15. But now what I'm basically doing, I'm at the crown of her hair. So we're gonna switch to a kind of a fine baby light. So if you want to call it a microwave, baby light, highlight, whatever you guys want to call it. Basically, it's
Frances just doesn't want you coming for her for whatever she calls it.
whatever you guys want to call it. But you can see everything was ribbons. Now we're going to a finer section. And the reason I am doing this, again, she's going to have a really soft blended grow out. This is also another way to blend out her gray hair. And it's basically giving that balayage effect where it's super ribbony and through the bottom. And you're getting that kind of beautiful transition from a darker into a lighter.
Let us know down below if you think that's a baby light or a highlight or what kind of light it is.
It's a highlight either way.
This entire side done, yes.
And it looks like a lot because I have them double, like sandwiched, but this is basically 7 foils on this side. And she's gonna have even less on this side because her hair is parted on her right side. So there's more hair sitting on that side. So we just probably have about, I would say about 3 foils. And then we're moving on to her money piece. Last section, it's her money piece. First, around the hairline, again, paper thin. One thing I've learned over time is when I was doing the money pieces, every time I would do a slice, and then that client, even though I blend it perfectly with toner, even though that if that client wears her hair back, she would still kind of have a hard line here. So over time, I just started doing that first foil and just like a little
weave.
Little weave, yep. I still back comb it a little bit, or you can use a blow dryer to take the little flyaways out, but I've gotten better results doing it this way. And then the next section after this will be a slice to get that money piece effect. I just always tell stylists, don't depend on your toners to do your blending. This is, again, everyone has a different way of going about things, but I like seeing my clients when they come in between their appointments and their hair looks so good still. It's super blended. So I always think the blending starts with your highlighting. So that's why you'll see a lot of my sections at the crown be finer because it grows out nicer. You'll see almost every section have a little bit of back combing for softness, weaving, whatever you want to do. But the last thing that you'll see me do, again, this is my preference, is take a big chunk slice at the top of the crown and just apply that lightener. Yeah, the toner will do a lot for you, but in between, as that toner starts to wash out, maybe 3-4 months down the line, your client is going to look like she has a hard line. And that's what I'm personally trying to avoid. And I think that has also helped something for me to even retain that clientele. People always compliment on how great their hair looks. I've even had, this is probably not a good thing, but I've had clients cancel their appointments because they said, oh my God, my hair still looks great. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's good and bad, right? I have to charge more for that one session, basically. Since we are at the very last section, I usually will do money pieces last, and honestly, I don't think there's a right or wrong with this. Some people do it first to get that brightness, but I'm going to let it sit until it gets bright either way. By the time I get to the money piece, that bowl is new and fresh. So look how saturated it is right here, but if you look at the roots, it's super feathered on and diffused. Because I mean, we've all seen it where people's money pieces grow out kind of like a stripe. This really does help with that. You're still going to have the boldness, but it's not going to have that hard line as she's growing out. Last foil, this is what's left. I'm going to break this up into a weave. I like doing that because it actually connects to everything else and just ties in the whole placement together. And whether you want to call it microwave, baby light, but it's basically a fine weave. And honestly, sometimes there's hair that gets bunched up. I am really particular about everything being flat and separated.
Fan it out.
I fan it out with my comb just to make sure that anything that bunches up, and you'll see it in some of the foils I open up, anything that got bunched up is not lifting as nicely as everything else is. So I'll go back and hit it with some more lightener just to get it to catch up. As we go back and check her foils, we'll resaturate her ends. Once her mid has caught up to how light her ends are, then we'll resaturate.
Now we're just gonna sit here and process, watch it a little bit, and then get ready for that next step.
She's lifting great. Some of the sections in the front were sitting even fine. The hair's finer in the front also, so those actually lifted faster than the back ones did.
Got a nice little pull here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful lift. And just keeping in mind that anything with bigger sectioning in, like your foils, it's going to lift a little slower. The sections in the front are finer, so they lift it quicker. I'm just about now taking out some of her back foils. This is where I originally started, and you see how much bigger this section is, so that's why it just took a little bit longer, but she did get a really nice lift out of that as well. Very clean.
Nice. This is literally like from her taking really thin sections, like she said multiple times, and then reapplication. So she's gone through and opened them up and applied where needed on the pieces of hair that just, you know, need a little bit of extra oomph.
Yeah, so for example, I see on this side, it just needs a little extra oomph. So I have a new bowl of lightener right here. Where I'm just going to give it a little bit. This is a fresh bowl of lightener. I'm just going to give it a little oomph right there.
A little nudge.
Little nudge.
All right, now we got this rinsed out. That beautiful lift. How long would you say we processed, or you processed her? I keep saying we like I did anything.
I would say it's been about an hour at least.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, so, but we got a great lift. We finished off on this side, but I already pulled some of the foils out on this side because they were ready. We're going to do gray blending, and then the gray blending will also serve as her root shadow. I actually think the blending part of this with your toners is what really gives you that final look, so I'm excited to show that.
Frances used the CBD leaf and flower CBD instant damage correction shampoo.
Yeah.
Which smells amazing.
Smells amazing. It's great for chemically treated hair.
And now she just put in a little bit of this Botanical repair.
It's a number 3, so it's kind of their bond building treatment. So I put it in after the shampoo to detangle, but it also makes the hair just feel great. So this is going to prep the hair for toning, basically. And it's not serving exactly as a conditioner, but it's kind of a conditioning agent in a sense.
Like reparative.
Exactly. Yeah.
I might get it for the salon.
And I think it is important too to like add in a treatment before the toner, just because you did the teasy lights and it's just allowing you to get those teasers
Exactly. Yeah. Luckily, her hair type, it detangles very easily.
That already looks so nice. You can see the money piece popping through.
Yeah, and then one thing you can really see is how like soft and subdued it looks at the root.
Yeah.
Like it already has somewhat of a blend. So that's how I know she's going to have a really nice
And that makes your
grow.
toning job so much easier.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I can go without using a shadow root. We're still going to use one.
Yeah.
But I could definitely just throw a toner and it's going to look beautiful.
We have a little bit of a dilemma. So Frances uses SV rapid toner like all the time.
It's a great go-to.
And she doesn't really want to use it today. She wants to use something different. So
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not hopeful that she's going to actually use something different.
Well, I might still use the SV. It's basically violet in a bottle with a little underlining of blue in it, which is absolutely perfect when you want to neutralize and you want the end result to be on the cooler side. It has everything you need. But I just feel like I want to mix it up a little bit. So I might still use a little SV, but I'm thinking mixing it with 9PV.
9PV sounds really pretty.
Would be
It's
really
because
pretty.
9PV is like a pearlescent violet, and I think it complements the SV beautifully.
It really does. It's
Yeah.
not exactly what
and
what
it's
she said.
and it's
guys.
and it's a level 9, so it's pretty sheer. It complements the rapid toners really well because the rapid toners are technically designed for levels 8 and above. And I think Frances actually said this earlier. I didn't get it on camera, but she likes the rapid toner series because it's a tone and it doesn't have a level associated with it.
Yes.
So it keeps people still on the blonde side, but just depositing the tone. So
Yeah.
correct.
I think I'm almost using this as a form of a buffer for the SV to balance it out without, it's still going to be left on the cooler side, but it's going to almost give it a little bit of a buffer, if that makes any sense, without using clear.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Okay. We are doing her root shadow / gray blending. Since the teasing made my foils drop a little bit lower, I'm probably going about, I would say 2 inches down. Basically, I'm looking for where that highlight started. I'm going to overlap that. This is actually my favorite combo. So 4 NUA essentially would match her base the most, but it does work very quickly. Yeah. So I mix it equal parts with 5 NUA, and I get the perfect root shadow for someone with her level.
What
With
would
that,
you say to somebody that's like scared to use 5 NUA or 4 NUA?
I would say don't be scared. Honestly, it does work quickly. So if you are, let's say if you work at a slower pace, maybe give yourself a little bit of a buffer there. So if someone's at a level 5, maybe do half 5 NUA, half 6 NUA, and then just let it sit, you know?
Is it root shadow or shadow root? And what's the difference?
It is whatever you want to call it. Actually, that's a great question because I've been calling it, I think I actually call it both, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think I call it both too.
I think essentially what we're trying to do.
I say shadow root.
Okay, shadow root. I think people need to not be so focused on
on the what to call things.
exactly, as long as we both know what we're trying to create at the end of the day.
Agreed.
So she's got this money piece kind of left out here. So I'm assuming you're going to leave that for last.
I typically will leave
Yeah.
it for last. But one thing I will show, and it's hard to tell with the application, but it is strategically placed on. I am kind of doing it like a diagonal, almost in like a halo. The best results I've noticed with my root shadow is if I line it up, it looks lined up in the end result. So if you kind of give it that little bit of a diagonal.
Yeah, emulate the shape of the head.
Exactly.
So as soon as she gets this on, we're going to move on to infamous SV with 9PV.
Yes, we're gonna let this sit for at least 10-15 minutes just so it covers her gray a little bit more. Yes.
Tell me about this bad boy right here.
Okay, this is a must, especially with lightening and toning over the lightening. I always say it wrong. The Kenra Color Porosity Equalizing Spray. I did it right because I'm reading it right off the bottle. Honestly feel like I've gotten the best results with this. This is a pH balancing spray, so it's really gonna help get that even toner. And I mean, basically, it's simple. It's a pH balancing spray. So I do feel like essentially when you're lifting the hair, it's gonna balance out the pH.
Yeah.
Plain and
So
simple.
this has actually a pH of 4.5.
See, she knows that.
And it is also formulated with aloe. I only know this stuff because I used to work for Kenra forever. But it's a really amazing porosity equalizing spray. It does exactly what it is. That's why I love Kenra so much, because everything does what it says it's going to do. But you can spray this on dry or damp hair, and it's only going to target the areas that has the high porosity. And it's great for having like that even deposit.
This is the comb I love to use for toning. This is also Javier. I couldn't think of a different name for him, but I'll comb down, and then I like to use the back of the comb. And I melt the root shadow first, and then I apply the highlight toner. And the reason for this is just I felt I've gotten that better like transition once I've melted the shadow root first. The times where I've just applied this toner with the shadow root and then blended it together, I just didn't get that perfect blended melt I was looking for. So
You felt like there was kind of like too much of a cutoff point or something?
I do felt like I still had a little bit of a hard line. So this is just something I've learned to do because I just love the end result a lot better. So I'll melt first, then I'll start merging these two colors together. And the main thing that I'm looking to do is like what I just said, merging. So I'll even use my thumb and make sure that these two colors are blending into each other. You don't want to see where the highlights start. You almost want it to look like a perfect gradient. So again, this is the Rapid Toner SV, and I mixed it equal parts with 9PV. It's probably going to sit on for about 10 minutes max, sometimes even 5. The Rapid Toner SV, it's a 5-minute toner. It does what I need, but there is the 9PV in there. So usually that's one of my favorite things about Kenra is that the toners don't have to sit on for too long, and you still get a nice creamy opaque finish, and you get a long longevity with their toners as well. The NUAs is the best thing to shadow root with. It has everything that you need within that toner. So it has the NUA, the neutral ultra ash. The neutral is going to fill it in the hair where you need it to, but the ultra ash is going to keep it from going really warm or hollow. It actually gives it that perfect shadow root that blends in like almost exact to someone's natural base color. You can't even tell there's tone on there. Yeah, and this is actually almost ready. Look how fast that works.
So nice.
The money piece, I always save that for last so it can have, it's going to sit on less time. It's going to have a little bit more pop. But still how I was melting the root shadow down, I'm going to melt the money pieces down first because I still want that blend. Adding a little bit more product if you need it. But once I start blending it, then I'm going to apply the same toner where I left off that root shadow. And what I'm looking for again is the gradient. So right here, these two colors, I'm making sure I'm merging them into each other just to get that really soft blend. One little tip I always give stylists is look at it in all different directions. So this is what it's going to look like when her hair is pulled back. This is where she parts her hair. This is how it's going to look when her hair is down. What if she decides to flip it? This is how it's going to look as she flips it. I just want to make sure that that blend and that transition looks perfect wherever, all around, exactly.
I just want to ask all of the YouTube viewers,
because I was having a conversation with Frances a little earlier, she said that she is not an educator, but I feel like she's doing a pretty good job educating on this video. So what do you think? Do you like learning from Frances? Because let her know down below, because I think she's been doing a great job. Like, I'm so excited to go do some of these techniques at my salon.
I don't think I have the verbiage as an educator, but I am just sharing things the way I'm doing it the best I can. You know?
But we like that, right? Tell her we love it like that.
I don't even do hair and I'm learning.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the final result. I think her hair came out so amazingly beautiful. And just to kind of give you a little recap, Frances used blue powder lightener.
Yes.
1 to 3 with 30 volume developer, and she actually reapplied several times. I think you used like 6 bowls of lightener.
Yes, but just to add to that, each bowl just have a little, maybe half a scoop.
Really tiny little baby lights and teasy lights throughout. She processed her for an hour, then used a color melt toner. So what did you end up using?
We did equal parts Demi 5 NUA, equal parts with 4 NUA. It melted that perfectly with her natural, but the 5 NUA kind of served as a buffer for me. And with that, we melted that into Rapid Toner SV, equal parts with 9 PV.
And then she really only processed her for like 5 minutes in total, like once she was done applying those ends. And then, yeah, just did a really quick blowout. Like, what do you guys think of her final look? Like, it looks so amazingly beautiful.
Yeah, it has a very soft blend, so She's gonna have a really pretty transition as it starts growing out.
Yeah. So I really hope you enjoyed this hair video, and if you did and you want to see more videos like these, please comment down below and let me know. And then also be sure to give Frances a follow. Frances Hair Artist, her salon Modern Beige. Is it Modern Beige Salon?
It's the Modern Beige Salon, and we call it Mod B for short.
So make sure you check out her salon. It's beautiful here, and as you can see, she does an amazing job, and she has other talented artists as well that work here.
But thank you guys for watching. I hope you, even from anything that I showed today, I hope you took even one little bit of it and use it behind the chair.
Yes, shows Frances some love. She also has some hair tutorials on the Kenra Professional channel as well. Make sure you check those out. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe. If you want more free education sent right to your inbox, be sure to head on over to my website, morellamanelli.com, and sign up for my newsletter. Everything education, head to my website. It's all there. And I will see you in the next video.